All right, today we're diving into something big. We're cracking open the ideas from Building Wealth from Zero, a guide that makes a pretty bold promise that anyone, and I mean anyone, can build wealth, no matter where they're starting from. Let's get into it.
This is the question, right? The one that stops so many of us before we even start. We're all told it takes money to make money. But what if that's not just a little bit wrong? What if it's the complete opposite of how things really work?
And this quote, man, it just flips the whole script. This is the core idea of the book. It says that the real capital, the stuff that truly matters when you're starting out, isn't in your bank account. It's all up here, in your mind.
Okay, so let's get into the first big idea, the mindset of zero. The journey starts not by chasing cash, but by completely changing how you think about having none. And it turns out, starting from zero might just be your greatest strength.
This is it. The biggest myth out there, the one that keeps people stuck. I need money first. But the book argues that's completely backwards. Ideas create money. Money just follows value. And you don't need a single dime to start coming up with valuable ideas. Okay, look at this. This is so powerful because it's such a tiny, tiny shift in words, but it changes everything. Saying, I can't afford this is a full stop. It's a closed door, conversation over. But asking, how can I afford this? Well, that's a question. That's a puzzle to solve. It turns a wall into a door. So instead of thinking of zero as a bad thing, the book wants you to see it as your superpower. Seriously, when you have nothing to lose, you have total freedom. You can explore, you can try weird things, you can make mistakes, and just learn. You're not stuck in the old way of doing things, which means you can come up with ideas that the big players would never even see. So, if money isn't the real starting capital, then what is? Well, according to the source, every single one of us already has the two most important things we need: a clear vision for where we're going and the skills we can build along the way. And let's be clear, vision isn't some fluffy, daydreamy thing. It's a tool. It's your blueprint, your roadmap. I mean, think about it. Working hard without a clear vision is like sprinting as fast as you can in the wrong direction. A vision makes sure every single drop of your effort is actually pushing you toward where you want to go. All right, so how do we make this vision real? Not just a dream. The book gives us a super simple 3-step plan. And step 1 is non-negotiable. You have to write it down. Just the act of putting a pen to paper and writing out your goals tells your brain, hey, this is real. We're doing this. Next up, you gotta break it down. A huge goal is scary. It feels impossible. But when you slice it into tiny, bite-sized pieces, suddenly it's not so scary anymore. You're not trying to climb Mount Everest. You're just focused on taking the very next step. And the final piece of the puzzle, give it a deadline. This is what separates a wish from a real plan. It injects a little bit of fire, a little bit of urgency. It's what forces you to actually get moving. Okay, so you've got your vision. What's the other asset you have right now? It's simple. What you can do, your skills. The book hammers this point home. What you can do with your mind and your hands is infinitely more valuable than what you have in your wallet. It's an asset that no one can ever take from you. But just having a skill isn't enough, right? You've got to sharpen it. And here's the 4-step game plan for doing just that. First, go deep. Learn everything you can. Then you have to practice, and I mean daily. Repetition is the mother of skill. Then get feedback. Find people who will tell you the truth so you can see your blind spots. And finally, add your own spark, your own creativity. That's what makes you irreplaceable. So you've got the vision, you're building your skills. Now what? What's the engine that's actually going to move this whole thing forward? Well, the book says it comes down to 2 things: relentless consistency and learning how to spot opportunity. I absolutely love this quote. It's such a powerful reminder that it's not about that one heroic effort. It's not about being perfect. It's about the quiet, often boring work of just showing up, day in and day out, especially when you don't feel like it. That's persistence. And check this out. This visual just nails it. This is why that daily grind is so important. Look at date 1. That bar is tiny, barely anything. Even a month in, it's not that impressive. But look what happens after a year. It's not just bigger, it's exponentially bigger. That's the magic of the compound effect. Small, steady efforts don't just add up, they multiply. And that brings us to the other half of the engine, opportunity. But not in the way you might think, like it's some lucky break.
The book defines it as that perfect moment when your preparation slams right into a real need in the world. And spoiler alert, it usually looks a lot like a problem that everyone else is complaining about. So, how do you get good at spotting these things? Well, you can actually train your brain to do it. Start by listening. I mean, really listen. Every complaint you hear is a business idea in disguise. Get curious. Ask why things are the way they are. Stay positive. And most importantly, be proactive. Don't sit around waiting for opportunity to come to you. Go out and build it yourself. Okay, all this work, all this mindset shifting, it's all leading to the final stage, the long game. It's one thing to build wealth, but it's another thing entirely to make it last for the rest of your life. And you really need to get this. Making money and keeping money are two totally different skills. A lot of people are great at the first part, the hustle, the grind, but they crash and burn because they never master the second part, the discipline of preservation. So what are the rules of the road for actually holding onto your wealth and making it grow? Here are the big ones. Always pay yourself first. Save before you spend a dime. As you earn more, fight the urge to spend more. That's called lifestyle inflation, and it's a trap. Build multiple income streams. Only invest in things you actually understand. And please, avoid going into debt for stuff that loses value. Because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. The goal isn't to look rich by buying flashy things. The goal is to be rich. And what does that mean? It means being free, having options, owning your time. That's true wealth. And that brings us to the final thought. And it's a big one. It's the whole point of this journey. This whole process of building something from nothing, it's not just about the money. You're building skills, discipline, and resilience. You're becoming a different person. As the book says, you're not just building wealth, you're building a destiny. So the only question left is, what destiny are you going to start building today?